All right, welcome back, guys. We are at the shop. It's Sunday, which means it's time to work on my own car. So T2 used to be one of our faster cars up until we put a lot of effort into T3, which is the car Tom's driving. And we played with a bunch of suspension stuff on the car. We played with differential, kind of a bunch of different things, and finally got that car dialed. It feels so good. So good that this car no longer doesn't feel that great. There was kind of some issues with this car. I guess I really didn't notice till after driving Tom's car how crisp that car felt. The suspension in this car is super old, but it felt okay. So I've just kind of been driving with it. So coming back to this car now, trying to get this back up to the pace of Tom's car, and hopefully maybe even a little quicker. We'll see. I had Dave over at TF Works, who primarily builds a lot of Reinhardt suspension stuff, but he can pretty much just rebuild anything. So we sent him some of these Moton shocks that, again, I bought secondhand. So I sent them into him. He got them all rebuilt, and we're gonna throw them back in the car today. Got the Motons in, everything looks good there. While we're doing the rear, since I got the wing off because I can't open the trunk with the wing on, I pounded out the rear trunk floor. I'll put a little flat floor in there, just like a, I don't know, aluminum sheet or something. I need this area to mount our new Go Fast mod.
What day is it?
It is Friday.
F off Friday.
F off Friday, and first thing that shows up on F off Friday. I'm excited for this one. From Summit Racing. Don't order too many things from Summit Racing, but.
Dang. The video starts off with you flaming Summit Racing.
Horsepower in a box. I need a big bottle. Need it by tonight.
It's huge. Oh boy. Do you want to explain yourself?
So, for UMI, it's kind of a bring whatever you want with very little rules. And I'm going to attempt to take the GLTC S2 and run it at UMI for the autocross, but it's a little down on power, so it's the quickest way to get a little more power. Yeah, so we're gonna throw this on T2, and we'll see what kind of power. I'm gonna try like a small 75 shot to start with, but what I wanna do is try to actually double the power on the car, which is gonna be about 400 horse. 400. Which requires about a 200 shot of nitrous. And I couldn't find, I'll admit, I'm pretty new to the nitrous stuff. I played with it a little bit years ago. Just a really simple, like, I don't know, little wet kit threw on my DSM back in the day. But I want to try to make this like a progressive controller by doing some sort of like pulse width modulation and stuff with these to try to like ramp the nitrous in, so it's not just like this instant 200 horsepower kick.
Right.
I don't know. I couldn't really find many reviews or anyone else really doing what I'm trying to do. So most people are running nitrous for like drag application, where it's just like, I need all the power right now,
right,
all of it, and that's it. Where I need it to be, I need to be able to modulate the power. I can't have a 200 horsepower kick. I need to be able to ramp it in. So, good thing we've got a few spare K24s here, and they're only $1,000 engines. So
the whole project is race GLTC.
Race GLTC at Lime Rock, and then the car goes immediately over to UMI the following weekend. So
gets that.
Yeah, all this stuff needs to be in the car for the GLTC weekend. Obviously, we'll leave the bottle out, but all this needs to get plumbed and wired in.
Why leave the bottle out?
I guess we can leave the bottle in. If you see me just leave you down the streets, you know it's you know I might have opened the bottle. I really like how my S2 drives. I feel it's going to do well in autocross. It just doesn't have the power.
Right.
And it should hopefully help that. Plus, I've always had the idea of just throwing nitrous on an autocross car, but every single series is kind of like not allowed.
Yeah.
And UMI, you can kind of do anything. So run nitrous for a full run.
Are the nozzles already in here?
This is the nozzle. This is kind of a simple kit. For now, this is just going to go in front of the intake before the throttle body and just spray nitrous. It does nitrous and fuel.
And then this is the part that changes to get
Yeah, you put
more power.
Yep, you change these little nozzles out.
Oh, I see.
It's just kind of like an injector, and you can change the injector size. And you have to match the right amount of fuel and nitrous. Nitrous is like the air. The fuel's obviously the fuel. You need both parts. I don't know. This is all a learning experience for me, so we're gonna hopefully get to test this and try everything out. My plan is to kind of start small. I'm gonna try just a small 75 shot, maybe not try it progressive at all, just see how the car drives, and then slowly kind of keep adding more and more and see what happens. There's a lot of variables, and that's what I'm kind of excited and terrified to learn. I'm not afraid to blow up an engine. I shouldn't say I don't want to blow up an engine,
right?
But I wouldn't be super upset if I did. Cool. Didn't want to show you until it was all done, but big bottle. We're gonna need a little bit more power to try to catch Tom on those straights. So I think maybe just like 100 shot or something, just to use once in a while. Why not? Yeah. Let's make that floor, get the nitrous bottles mounted, and then I got some plumbing and wiring to do, and then we'll see how much more power it makes. Okay, we're gonna plumb the nitrous. I think this is a good spot for it. It's kind of the lightest corner of the car, so it kind of makes sense to be back here. There's really not much room up there anywhere. Tried mounting it back over here. It's just not really gonna work. And I have rewards weight that needs to go in there. I have to run at least 2,900 pounds for King of the Mountains, so I think it's gonna have to stay there. And hopefully I got enough line to make it all the way up to the engine bay. The only other inconvenient part of this is once the wing is on, I can only open the trunk about that much, which hopefully should be enough to sneak bottles in and out. I'm hoping for at least 10 autocross runs. We'll see. I might, I haven't really decided how I'm gonna do this yet. I'll either have that controlled either with the Infinity ECU, or I might do it just real simple and have a button for the second stage for like that last little straight or something where I need a little bit more power. Got a lot of learning to do. All right, got the nozzle mounted. This is a very basic wet kit. So just one nozzle, pre-throttle body. And trying out this new Proton solenoids. Got this kit. Hopefully it works out pretty well. Should be pretty basic, especially for just the first stage for like a 50-75 shot. This should be pretty simple. So K24, full stock K24, should take it as long as we don't spray it too early RPM. I mean, these engines will take 500 horse, 400 torque pretty much all day long on boost. The key with nitrous is not spraying it too early, because you can make a ton of torque down low, and that's what will send a rod out through the block. So we'll start small and see what happens. Just gonna finish plumbing it up here. I still need to get my fuel. I need to tee off my fuel system there. I hopefully should have enough fuel. It's a 255 Walbro fuel pump in there. Those are usually good to like 400 horse, so all part of the tuning process. All right, nitrous kit mostly in. Motons all in. We do have to corner weight and do the alignment on it. But before I'm gonna put the wheels back on, I'm just gonna put new brakes on. Been using these new Hawk ER1s. These are the new endurance pad. Been pretty happy with them so far. Seem to last long, have good brake modulation. So just gonna put some fresh pads on for the weekend and not have to worry about changing pads. See, they're getting pretty thin. All right, let me get the brakes done, and then we're gonna get this car on the scales, do some corner weighting and alignment, and get it all back together. Hopefully get it wrapped up today. So now that I got the ride height roughly set, I'm gonna get the scales turned on. We're gonna do some corner weighting make some tweaks. I've got a bunch of other weight there that I'll throw in the driver's seat so I can kind of be making the adjustments. It's just me here, so typically you'd have the driver in there as well. All right, give her a few bounces. And let's see where we're at. All right, so 2 heavier corners, driver rear, passenger front. If we want to take some weight off those corners, we can lower the ride height or raise the ride height on these 2. What I like to do is measure everything again. I try to make sure I adjust which corner needs to go up or down based off of both ride height measurements and the corner weights. And typically on a nicely balanced car, they're gonna correlate. So the driver front corner might actually need to go up a little bit, might be a little lower, which explains why the lower corner weight. So I can raise this corner maybe up a little bit. We'll take measurements here and see where we're at. Okay, so I got everything leveled. We are almost perfect measured ride height, both front and rear, and then I had to raise this corner up a little bit. But our scaled weight, almost perfect. A little more rear heavy, which is kind of what I go for on these cars, especially when I have to add weight. Get the rear end just a little lighter, which is a little different from most S2s. Typically the front end's a little heavier, but with these cars I was able to remove a lot of front weight and kind of kept the rear a little heavy. Should be pretty good. We're gonna get the alignment stuff on now and get that stuff dialed in, and then we'll make sure our corner weight haven't changed much. Sometimes if the camber or caster is very far off, that can change the scaling a bit. So we'll get the alignment done, and then we will check the corner weights again. Just wrapping up alignment and corner weighting, and all the suspension stuff is done. Got a few things left to do, mostly just the nitrous stuff. Got to get a bottle filled, finish wiring it up, and then just put it on the dyno and tune it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Andy Smedegaard on the starting line. Smedegaard ready to rock and roll. Gets the green.
Okay, here we go. KOTM 2.0 winner.
Oh, yeah.
No stranger to pressure.
That car is wound out. It is driving harder, I guarantee it. Smedegaard, last time, ran a big number, but John V came out right afterwards and just clipped him by about a half a second. Smedegaard driving aggressive. The car accelerating hard. Oh, great run through hot dog corner. Wow, corn dog corner right there. Unbelievable. Right through it like a mogul skier going through that thing. On the back stretch. Oh, the car looking good. This thing is wound out. 56.076. 56.076. John V, 55.6, but he got a cone. Andy Smedegaard is your late model champion. Andy Smedegaard is your late model champion. 2-4.
Okay, Smedegaard.
Andy Smedegaard looking good through 1 into 2. Loving the little S2000, not gonna lie.
KOTM 2.0 champion rounds a hairpin in the infield.
Yeah, he won that deal.
In NASCAR 4, kicks in the nitrous bottle. What do we got? Smedegard.
Smedegard out there.
Just added yet another nitrous bottle to try to see what he can do. Navigates the hairpin perfectly as you would expect. Through Corn Dog Corner. Up over the rise, out on a NASCAR 2. There's no quit in Smedegard for sure.
There is not. He's going to need to run a 54.5 in order to catch Krebsbach. If Krebsbach runs consistently where he's at, he runs a 55.424, a tenth of a second better, but he got a cone. For the cars to beat, an S2000 and an Evo. Smedegard with a 56.116, and it's clean. He needs to run a 56.115 to win it, and he does a 55.877, and it's clean. Krebsbach is your King of the Mountain champion.
I'm gonna do a bunch of pulls.
What are you doing?
See how much power it makes with the 100 shot. We tested it at 50, and it made like 60 or some more horse. Then at the event we needed more power, so we just kept upping it. Finally ended at 100 shot, so no idea what it makes for power with the 100 shot, but we'll see.
That's cool. Really cool.
This is the runs before without nitrous, and that was with a little 50 shot. We're gonna see how.
Think it's gonna clear 3? You think?
I bet it's gonna make like 330.
Should I just stand here? Nailed it. 330.
Must have a little delay for it to fully clear out. I don't have a purge, so it took a little bit to kick in, but.
Tell us what you did.
So it's a really simple wet kit. It really is the most basic of nitrous systems. Yeah, there's 2 solenoids in here. You feed one with nitrous, one with fuel, and then when it turns on, it energizes both solenoids, which fills these lines, and they come into that nozzle, and the fuel and nitrous mix, and just spray in, single nozzle. I don't know if I'd want to go any further than 100 shot with this wet kit. I think if I were to go bigger, I would do like a direct port, have an individual injection nozzle for each runner. I would do like maybe a 50 stage with this one, and then another 100 stage with the direct. Then I could make maybe a little more progressive power. So you'd only have the 50 shot turn on at like 80% throttle, and the other one at 90%. So you can manage the power a little. With this, it's all on or all off. Which at 330 horse isn't enough to like. We still have more than enough traction. Right. So an autocross where you're even like first, second gear, I never found myself like being overwhelmed with power. So it actually works pretty good as it is. But if you want more, I think then you'd want to do some sort of progressive controller or direct forward or something.
It's always next year.
Yeah, I bet you're going to see more people do it next year. It's such an easy way to get power, and it's instant power whenever or wherever you want, as long as the motor can take it. I loaded up the biggest bottle I could find in the back, 15 pound. I have it wrapped up in my tire warmers right now. I was using it as a heater, but I think if I had to do it again, I'd just get 2 of these big bottles and merge them into one, and then not have to really worry about it the entire weekend.
Yeah.
We ended up using about a poundish per run. It's really less than like a full drag pass. If you look at the logs, the amount of time you're actually in full throttle, it's really not that much on an autocross.
Sure, yeah.
And it's probably, I bet if you added it up, it was only like 7 seconds total. But it's crazy that that 7 seconds makes that much of a difference.
Yeah.
Like 7 seconds of full-on power versus a 40-some second run. That's it. Simple nitrous kit. Next year we'll get a little crazier. Maybe do a bigger shot, aggressive controller. Yeah. So now I just swap the maps to the GLTC map. Just pull the bottle out. Ready to go for another race.
I think you should leave the bottle.
Should what?
Leave the bottle.
Leave it.